Welcome to the Homeschool Together podcast. Where one working mom and a stay-at-home dad help you navigate the nuts and bolts of the growing and dynamic world of homeschooling.
With a focus on early learners, like me.
All the ins and outs of building and maintaining your homeschool life.
Homeschool.
Find out tips and tricks to make things like this easier.
I'm reading.
And ultimately, enjoy educating your kids. And what's that last thing?
Have fun together. Did I do good, Daddy?
Yeah, you did, sweetie. Good job. Hello and welcome to Homeschool Together Short Bite Edition. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a review of the Outside the Box art subscription service, which we interviewed the creator, Beth, about a week or two ago.
Yeah, Outside the Box Creation is a monthly art subscription box. There's a different medium being used every month. So the folks at Outside the Box Creation were kind enough to provide us with a box to take a look at. And you can see the unboxing video that we posted on YouTube and Instagram if you want to see it in person. But the box that we got was all about sculpting. Mm-hmm. So that was this month. Next month, I think, is watercolor. So every month is something different. And one of the things about it is that it provides you the materials, obviously, to do this art project. But it's very open-ended. Mm-hmm. When we talked with Beth in our interview with her, and if you haven't heard this interview and you're interested in your child's art education, please go back and check a look at it because it'll be in the show notes.
Yeah, it wasn't just about the
interview.
Subscription box. We got a lot of great insight from her about art and how to teach art and how to do art.
Yeah, how to approach it with your kids. You know, we kind of joke Matt's more artistically inclined than I am, and I feel very nervous about approaching art with our daughter, much more nervous than he does. And just the way that Beth talked about it, and the whole goal of this box is to introduce kids to different mediums that they can work with. It uses a book. There's a book every month that comes with the box that you can use as inspiration.
Either nonfiction or fiction, I think she said. Yeah.
That's right. And then the tools are available. One of the things I really liked about this box, and you can see in the unboxing video, they included everything that you needed to do this. And you actually made this one was sculpting shark heads, and you did this with our daughter this week. You guys had a ball, and she included everything. They included the paper towels. They included paper for you to put down on the table, so
the cups to put the water in to soften like the cracks of the clay. And,
yeah, it was really amazing. And the clay was this special air dry clay,
paper air dry clay.
Yeah, that we had never heard of before, so we didn't have to fire anything.
It had a consistency of like a really soft and kind of velvety Play-Doh. That's kind of had the feel of it. Yeah, it was really cool.
This is a box. If you've got older kids, they could maybe do this independently. We have a younger learner. She's 5.5. So this is something that there's enough in this box for both of you to do it. And you had extra clay. You said you could probably do 2 more heads, right?
Yeah. So like the amount of clay we used, we could probably make 5 shark heads with the amount of clay we had. Total. So it's definitely a whole nother cycle. I think we could do a whole nother cycle of some type of clay thing. And then I'm going to squirrel away a little bit of clay for me to do something at night.
Matt's discovered now he really enjoys sculpting, which is something we wouldn't have known before. I think that these type of boxes are valuable because they, this air dry clay, for example, we wouldn't have had no idea. We would not have known about that to get that. And what a great medium to work with. And now that we know about it, that's something that we can add into our art supplies and say, oh yeah, this is something we feel confident enough now that we could do some sculpting. I did not feel this way before.
And she also included a couple brushes to, if you want to rough up some area to stick some new clay to. And they also had some there was like a little pack of carving tools.
Right.
To help etch out, open areas of clay or to create some shape and whatnot. They were really cool. There were 3 or 4 of them, so we were just cycling between them. And what they were cool is they had the like kind of a dowel on the one end that's kind of sharpened. Some were more blunt, so you can actually auger out little holes, or you can, on the other side was the cutting tools, whether it was really sharp like a knife or it was more blunt like a scalpel. Not a scalpel, but like a spatula type of thing. So you can do different shapes. And there were different, techniques and whatnot. So we were using both ends of the tools, and I think we it was over an hour we were sitting there playing around with the clay.
Right. It was an activity that you did, and you also have enough left for another session where you
Easily.
could sculpt something else. We get to keep the tools, and we get to keep the book, which was all about sharks. It was a nonfiction picture book. So all of that together, I think, was a really great value. The instructions were well written. They had some ideas for you to go beyond their suggestions. There was a video tutorial that came with it that you could watch.
So if the what they wanted you to make was, if everyone can remember the classic Jaws poster with the girl swimming with the shark coming up below, you were kind of making that image of the shark head coming up from below, kind of this
Without the screaming swimmer.
without the screaming swimmer. But you could, if you want to do a little bit extra work, and you put the screaming swimmer there. But it was basically the top half of the shark's head. So you're making the mouth, you're opening up the mouth, making the cavity for the throat, closing up the mouth so that there's a darkness there, creating that kind of shadow, that depth, making a little bit of teeth, putting eyes on, doing dorsal fin. But some of the additional things you could do is you can make a hammerhead shark. You can make, other types of sharks. You can goof around and make, I think our learner she did Grandma Shark from Baby Shark.
Oh, yeah.
The Baby Shark song. So she made Grandma Shark that didn't have any teeth, but she had like the gums and stuff. It was kind of silly, but this was the fun we were having. Right. And now I'm kind of playing around like, well, what could she make that maybe we could do a unicorn? Maybe we could do something else. Like on the outside of the packaging, there was a unicorn, and I could really see my learner going, Daddy, sharks are cool, but that unicorn looks pretty freaking awesome. And, I'm already thinking about how we could paint this when it's done and all that type of stuff. So it's not just the hour we had doing the artwork where we had this really nice, and I have to admit that the paperwork for the description was really good. It also referenced another artist, so you can go to their website and see what they did with it. But also they had really nice step-by-step images, so you could really feel like, okay, I can follow along with the pictures and also the words. Because sometimes when you're reading instructions for, okay, how to do something, and that's kind of intricate, you get kind of lost in the words. So it was really nice to have the pictures there to kind of like buttress what she was describing. I just felt like there was a lot of creativity. I felt like I could have done that for another hour easily. I was really having a good time. I definitely outpaced my learner. She was definitely like, Dad, what's next? And I was like, I have to make these teeth really scary. I'm sorry, I can't pay attention to you right now. And so I was really into it, at least from an adult perspective, but she had a lot of fun. So, and
she did, and I know she's excited to paint it. One of the things when we talked to Beth on the show, she talked about the difference between crafts and art, and that crafts, the goal is for you to finish something and for it to look just like the example. Whereas with art, it's to be inspired, and you given the tools and some of the techniques, and then make what you want to make it. And I really liked that it was open-ended. The book had pictures of lots of different types of sharks, so she could have chosen what she wanted to model hers after.
We're definitely going to use the book when we paint it, because we read about this cat shark or something that has polka dots, and we read about the basking shark or the whale shark, and so there are all these different types of sharks. And she was like, wow, she didn't even know there were 360 different sharks in the world or whatever it was. So we're definitely going to use that to help do the painting. So it was nice inspiration there. So I think we're going to get 2 cycles out of it, and we still have even more clay to use. So
yeah, I think it was a great value for that. One of the things we've done, we've done Kiwi Crate, which we really enjoy, and some other things. Those projects are very prescriptive. It have to be finished exactly this way for it to work. And this was really nice, something that was open-ended, that it inspired her. And I know you're interested to use more of the materials.
Well, the other thing too is, you've talked about being apprehensive with doing art. I would actually, encourage you to do it with her again and actually sit down and do it, because it was not hard. You don't have to sit here and worry about, oh, am I doing this right or wrong? There's no right or wrong. The steps help you. If you have a little bit of anxiety with respect to art, or you have some fear in doing this type of stuff, having the box provide you the materials and the steps can alleviate a lot of that fear that you might have with like, oh, I don't know, what am I supposed to do with art? It took all the pressure off my shoulders. I didn't have to like worry about doing this. I could actually sit down and enjoy doing the art as well. And if you could imagine, like, if I wasn't there, if it was a mom and you had 2 kids, you could have 2 kids doing it, and then they could do it again. And then you could just say, okay, we did the shark head. You remember how we did that. Now you get to make whatever you want, right? And so then they'll
Right.
make whatever they want. And
Or let's read a book and get inspired by
Yeah.
this other book and make unicorns or
like
whatever.
I could imagine like the next one we do, we might do like a sarcophagus from Egypt.
Yeah.
I guarantee you my learner will like just drop dead off of that. She's like, oh my God, I can make a sarcophagus
Yeah.
and make it like a clamshell. And so it opens and we can put a mummy inside. Oh my God.
This was our first real experience with sculpting because I just didn't know that they had something that would air dry like that. So
Like it's about we're over 24 hours since we did that, and it's still a little spongy. So it takes a while to dry. So you definitely want to put it aside.
right, yeah, I think that this was a great value for for the exposure to a
Yeah.
new medium, for the tools that you get to keep and the book that you get to keep. So that's a great value. But
Like if you consider the value of the box, we looked up, I want to get more of this air dry clay. I was like, oh my God, it was cost half the box right there. So it's like,
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think that the box is right on for the
materials you get in it.
really high quality materials too.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed.
One of the things that I've heard from people say is, don't buy your kids these cheap art packs and things that have, all these different kinds of mediums, because cheap art supplies just don't inspire you to keep going with art,
Mm-hmm.
to really enjoy it. And that's one of the things about this box, is that everything in here is very high quality. So this is a little bit pricier. It's it's $33 a month at
Yeah.
the time of this taping, plus some shipping. So it's a little bit more, but they're super high quality components. And they recently launched something they call their Insiders Club, which I think is a really smart move. It's $15 a month, and it gives you everything for the activity except the supplies in the book. So this is terrific for those families who already have a lot of art supplies at home. You're comfortable getting the book from the library. You have lots of children, and maybe you have four children or 5 children. They do have a family size of the regular box if you want more. They do already offer that, but this is another quite cost-effective way. I don't think you're going to be saving a whole lot if you have to go out and buy everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a much more eco-friendly way to go, because they don't have to ship you the box, and you can definitely get the book from the library. So I think that there's kind of two paths there,
Mm-hmm.
depending on your budget and the size of your family. But I think it's a great way to get exposed to new mediums, new materials and tools and things that we just wouldn't have known about this stuff.
So you got me
without the box.
Yeah, well, you got me the sketch box for Christmas for a couple
Right,
months, and
which
that's
is an adult.
it's
art
an adult
subscription
version of this, and
You only get a couple tools in that, though.
yeah, it was not as much materials, but like I had the same discovery process.
Right.
Whereas like I was shocked, like I would never have known about half these things, and I would have known, and I wouldn't have been able to do the art activities, and I wouldn't have been able to find the artist that they recommend to follow on, Instagram or whatever, who's doing art with the art box stuff.
Right.
Like
so
all
much
of
more from
yeah.
just one box.
So a box like this is going to help you, I think do more higher quality, more meaningful things other than just pulling down construction paper and doing another, crayon coloring expo, or pulling out a coloring book. I mean, it gets dry. I mean, even my 2-year-old looks at it and goes, I don't want to do another coloring book, Dad. This is boring. Give me clay, or let me do watercolors, something different. And having that kind of like that monthly discovery, like what we have with the Yum Box, where we have a different country every month. There's all these different types of snacks, and we really look forward to it. And if you're an artistic family, or you got a big family and you guys want to do a little bit of art, or imagine if you had 3, 4, 5 kids and you had a couple of kids who enjoyed art. This is not something that this is easy, right? Because you've got to manage a lot of kids. You got to manage a lot of stuff. You're doing homeschooling with a lot of kids. Okay, you get your outside the box comes in, and let's do this. Let's do the activity.
Afternoons of excitement.
Yeah, it's and then the way they had the materials all broken out, it could be multiple afternoons.
Right. It's just I should have rephrased it.
Yeah.
It's just one afternoon maybe to do the initial art project, but then however many other things are inspired by those materials that you received.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this. This is great. It goes beyond just like the STEMmy, like kind of like the passports thing, what we didn't really care as much for.
Little passport.
It just felt like, with our criticism with that, is that when you compare it to something like Kiwi Box just felt like it was better quality, it was higher stuff. this felt like, okay, this is better than just like going to the store and randomly buying something. Right. There's more direction. It gives you more inspiration. It narrows the choices down because a lot of times you feel paralyzed by choice.
Man, you go to Michael's and it's just like,
it's walls and walls of stuff.
I'm not sure what to buy. I end up
You're
spending
like,
more.
this tube of acrylic costs $13.
I end up spending more money not knowing exactly the right supplies, honestly, than just getting a box or doing the club where it tells you exactly which materials you need. I will spend more money, I guarantee it, going to Michael's and trying to recreate something from that I've seen online. I just, because I don't know, I'm not versed well enough in this. And so I love that, Beth has a degree in art and she's had a lot of experience teaching art to children in schools. And so I love that this is expertly curated.
Well, and also
for us,
there's not everybody homeschools year round like us. A lot of people are getting to the end of the year. They're going to be in the summer. Their kids are going to be bouncing off the walls. Try for the summer, try for a couple months and see if you like it.
Yeah. I think it's great.
We're big fans of a lot of the boxes because I just like the idea of things I like taking away the paralyzing choice of trying to find the right thing, offloading that to somebody else and have that delivered to my house so that I can do the activity without having to like make a difficult decision about something I don't understand or have to do a bunch of research about something I don't understand and
plan
waste
a big project.
Plan a big project. Go to the store.
Materials.
I would encourage you guys, give it a try. Give it a month. Give it 2 months. See if it's something you like, especially with the summer coming up.
Yeah.
Keep those brains firing, with the young ones. Yeah. I think it's a good idea.
I think it's great. And if you have not, again, listened to the interview that we did with
Beth,
definitely go back. It's in the show notes. It's totally worthwhile. It really changed my perspective about teaching art to our daughter, the importance of it and how to approach it. I thought it was really eye-opening. So we highly encourage you to check that out and definitely check out Outside the Box Creation subscription box. Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time,
happy homeschooling!